everyone, welcome back to Unmatched, day 2 of the Global Innovation Forum here in London, and I'm very excited to have finally a female guest here on the podcast. First female guest. Everyone has been a guy so far, so I was wondering what's happening with innovation. Is it all like very male skilled? But I'm very happy to have you here. I'm here with Liubov Ruchinskaya. She is head of strategy, analytics, and consumer planning at Diageo. Welcome.
Thank
Liubov.
you so much. Thank you for having me. It's such a tremendously well done event.
Yes.
I'm enjoying it a lot.
Yes, me too. And so many interesting people. Liubov, I'm excited to have you here because we know each other for some time, and because also we share a topic that we are both very passionate about, consumer insights. You actually work with it. I'm more like a fan of consumer insights. But tell us a little bit what you do at Diageo.
I recently joined Diageo 7 months ago as a head of strategy, analytics, and consumer planners for Northern Europe Hub. So I'm running the team, and my main focus is strategic vision, commercialization, and of course impacting the P&L in a positive way. Mm-hmm. So before I was with Electrolux on a global role, so I was actually running and inventing new products and new tools. And before that, I was a pretty long time with Colgate-Palmolive for I think 14 years in different regions and countries, playing different commercial, global, different roles. But probably the beauty of my past is that I managed to stay most of my time in insights and data analytics. Only 1 year I think I spent like as a marketeer. And what I really love about our small community is passion to understand people and trying to use our secret weapons to impact the business in a positive way. And I'm also touched by your past experience and how you impacted the business of Puma. And it's pretty rare to see marketeers passionate about people, so it resonates with me a lot, because our boss is not the management or stakeholders or the CEOs, C-suite executives. Our boss is our customer.
Yes.
Who would be very judgmental about everything we do. And if we do 100 things in a good way and only one thing in a bad way, in today's reality when everyone is using social media, and so it gets viral. So we have to be very careful.
Yeah. And what is funny is that in our circle, in our marketing community, we talk about consumer-centricity quite a lot. It's these days it's on everyone's agenda, and honestly it's coming from a very good place, I think, of really wanting to connect with people. However, very often it seems that it doesn't really translate into reality. And so a lot of what I do is really trying to bring together, the insights piece with the marketing community and remind people that actually, as you said, our boss is not, our leadership team, but actually the consumer. So I wanted to touch base on what you presented earlier here at the event. There was one piece of information that stayed with me, and you had a slide that said there was a statistic, the key reasons of why new product fail. And the highest percentage, more than 40%, was due to the fact that we were not understanding the current and future consumer needs. More than incorrect product attributes, more than product introduction timing or pricing, or any other reasons why a product can fail, the biggest reason is that we actually don't understand what people want. And I agree. I didn't know this statistic, but I feel it every day. So I would like you to talk a little bit about that and how you perceive that from a consumer insights point of view.
I think that the success behind the tremendous launch lays within two factors. The factor number one is the very solid idea. And idea should be grounded into the culture and understanding people's needs. And this is the starting point. That's why probably 40% comes from that angle. And still, if you have a tremendously good idea, but you don't know how to execute it, it stays just the idea. How many entrepreneurs, they are walking around talking about their ideas, but they don't really put it into practice and invest into it and executing it and failing fast and then prototyping and many other things. So this is the second part. But the initial element is to understand if your idea fits the culture, if it is relevant, if it would be competitive, and if it is easy to be stolen. Because as soon as you launch things, it is available for everyone. You cannot protect your idea. So many big companies can step in and start just doing the same thing. So you have to curate and protect your secret recipe. So returning back to your question, I believe that understanding people is the very important element, and I wish I have the certification of companies in terms of people centricity, because many companies talk about the importance to understand people, but not many companies invest into it. So obviously we are aware about the capabilities of companies such as Colgate-Palmolive, Johnson & Johnson, Diageo, and many others who actually grown up insights professionals through years. So insights capabilities were invented 200 years ago in these companies. And now it's only little by little gets viral. So if you go back to understand what is the size of insights market, insights and data intelligence, now it is $140 billion. But just 10 years ago, it was not that level. So it was like 500,000 millions. It was in 1993. So imagine this growth. So we just start introducing our capabilities to different organizations, and still introduction is not kind of the ending point. You have to really integrate these capabilities into the business processes and to make sure that people like marketeers, stakeholders, management, they are trained how to use and work with insights people. Because bringing another stats, and I like numbers, so my background is math, so I'm kind of love the facts behind my thoughts. So Clover Pope studied the maturity of insights functions, and they come up with the beautiful conclusion that less than 20% of insights functions and people working in the corporate side actually act as thought leaders and people who actually foresight the future. While 75% or so, like majority of people in our profession, they act as contributors or data providers. If you just provide the fact, it's not necessarily impact the business. Because if I come to you and I say, look, I learned XYZ about people, and actually let's say women are not buying Baileys, and men are not consuming Baileys. Mainly old women prefer, or 45 plus women prefer middle age, and older women prefer Baileys. So it's just a matter of fact. We don't know why behind the stats, right? So we have the magic in our departments to put things together into the stories that is easy to remember, and the story that might impact business with our ideas. And I believe that now we are a little bit working on the brand awareness of our capabilities, and we are trying to immerse into the marketing and immerse into the business, and being not so shy like we were before, and talking more about our capabilities, and step out and be present and influence and be humble. And it requires different sets of skill set. Because if you work in the company where you are considered as a thought leader and you are given these rights to be in the room, it's a very easy job. But if you are just invited in the company where people centricity was not set up in the past, you have to be humble. You have to change your focus from the processes and projects to the influence and impact and collaboration with people, and it's completely different qualities required. So answering your question, and sorry for my long introduction and bringing all the numbers, but my short answer would be that I believe that we are using the resources of insights functions not in the right way across all different companies, and there is a work to be done on both sides. On the side of management, giving insights and data intelligence teams a little bit more space and sit at the table. And also there is a work needs to be done by us, being humble, to provoke the conversation, to have an independent voice, to challenge marketeers, not only verify the ideas. I'm sure you have many stories from Puma and from other companies you worked at, when probably you have 3 ideas and you can get the support by understanding which idea is stronger, but it's not the secret recipe. So your partner should tell you what are the other opportunity spaces, what are the other angles, and how this idea can be improved, evolved, and challenge your thinking, and actually evaluate if it is the strongest out of the strongest or the strongest out of the worst ideas possible, right?
Yeah. I think it's supposed to be more of a conversation than sort of like a one-way street, right? Sometimes it feels to me that insights it's treated like the function that you go to when there's a problem, and then you need support to get the data to either back you up on what you think is right, because your gut feeling or whatever personal opinion you have needs to be confirmed, or because you don't know what is happening and you need some data. And I think for me, the shift should be more around establishing a more open conversation within the functions, because it should happen more on a daily basis, not just when the time comes from just some random data to come through. And I have to say, I've been very fortunate to be with you and your fantastic team, and with your project Lighthouse Insights in Cannes. So we've had conversations before about the role of the functions and how those relationships and those conversations are happening within organization. And I have to say, I think it's a fantastic job that you're doing there, because I think we need more insights, but we also need more gut feeling, and we also need more conversation in a way. All this to say that I think culture, as you said before, eat strategy for breakfast, and I think it just starts with culture and how you within any organization incentivize those conversations to take place on a daily basis, not just when the milestone has arrived, for all of a sudden the insights people to come into the room and say, oh, here's the spreadsheet with whatever numbers that we're needing.
Yeah, I think that this is a challenge, and also I think there are several challenges. First of all, insight is a tool, but insight is the name of our function. That creates confusion. You know, when the first time last year we had our event, Insights Lighthouse in Davos, World Economic Forum. So I saw in the room only people I invited. Mm-hmm. And when I go outside, so we were sharing the big venue with other companies, and I was like, okay, so maybe I'm gonna invite some people who are on the break to join my event. And I was like going out, and I was like, hey, do you want to join Insights Lighthouse event? And one person was like stopping by and say, oh, I don't know what this is about. Insight, it's I'm not interested. And then I saw the title of the person. It was like a McKinsey representative. I was like, yeah, hold on. And he was like, I don't know what insights is. I was like, how don't you know?
From a consultant? That's weird.
How don't you? No, but listen to the story that I start challenging him on that. It's like, how don't you know? And he's like, yeah, because insight is a tool. So for us, strategy is the end product that we are delivering. It's a strategy. So in Diageo, my group is called Strategy Analytics and Consumer Planners, and I'm so proud to keep this important word to communicate what are our deliverables and deliverables, because insight is a tool. So we can be insightful, we can provide with the insights, but in the end of the day, our purpose is to impact the business positively, right? And when you take responsibility to be responsible collectively for the P&L and for the revenue and for the profit, and to be like, this a little bit more grounded in the numbers and share this responsibility, so you automatically get into the conversation and partnership. Because if you stay at the intermediate phase, like I have interesting knowledge, I would like to share this knowledge with you. So everyone is working so hard these days, and you have no time for the knowledge. So it's not really interesting for you. As soon as you not sharing knowledge, but you are coming across and saying, hey, I know that you are presenting to board of directors or CEO, and I actually have a great idea how to strategize your presentation, because I can support you with I can train you, I can help you. I have a design capabilities. We have a design capabilities in our group. We can support with the design or with the storytelling. So if we not necessarily can impact the particular topic, we can support with the design. We can support by challenging the story. And in the conversation, when you find yourself in the conversation, you can really impact and suggest and strategize. And that is the moment when you become a partner. And from partnership, you can grow to the leader. And to the leader, to be the leader, you need to be humble. To say that, look, your presentation is a crap. It's not it's not the strategy, or not these words. Forgive me, those who listen to me. I'm sometimes too direct, saying that, look, maybe it's not the successful way to move forward. Maybe we need to investigate what it takes to do it differently. Let's brainstorm, because I don't know how to do it differently, but we can talk and we can curate and we can co-create together. We have time and we have capabilities. I have the big team. We can sit together. We're very hands-on on the numbers. We can help you with that. And then you become the leader, and then you are influenced. And it's I think it's very important thing not to own your idea. You can give it as a gift, And that's the magic.
So essentially what you're saying is that Consumer Insights has a branding issue. We need to work on the branding,
for sure.
Rebrand Consumer Insights into strategy. Coming back to the initial question, which is, how do we solve for consumer centricity? What's your main takeaway on that from where you stand? I have my own opinion on that as a marketer. I think that for marketers, what I see is that we don't spend enough time speaking to consumers. We don't spend enough time on the shop floor. We don't spend enough time with people actually reviewing our products to understand what the main issues are or the challenges are when they're using our products. We don't have also enough contact with the product in many cases. Or maybe we're just not users of the product because we're not the target audience. So there's too much separation from, generically speaking, from where marketing stands to where the consumer actually stands. And I think we need to bridge that gap. How do you see it from a consumer insights perspective?
Well, I think that it's a very important observation. And this is exactly what I shared at my keynote, saying that when you're an entrepreneur, and you're an entrepreneur today, and you can share it with me the conclusion that being an entrepreneur, you're very agile because you just bring the partners you want to work with and you just kick off the project idea and you move on. When you're working in the big organizations, your big enemies are vacation, public holidays, processes, travel arrangements, and many, many other things. So obviously, when you're constantly spend your time with your colleagues, so then you operate within this small circle and you're exposed to more or less the same things, so it's very hard to bring unique ideas. So the first thing is to start spending more time with your people who are consuming your product. And I believe in today's world, everyone is an insight. Everyone is an insight because it's very easy to use self-service tools. It's very easy to go out or to get instructions from your team how to ask questions and how to interview people in the store. So you are an insight person, per se, if you are a marketeer. But obviously, it requires some leadership to put the processes together to make sure that we curate the culture to be people-centric. And this is the responsibility of insights functions in the organization. And that's why I hope one day Boston Consulting Groups or Deloitte or McKinsey or Kantar, if you listen to me, please guys, take an action. Let's start certifying the companies in terms of their people centricity, because today every CEO talks about the people centricity, but we're not necessarily seeing it in practice.
Yeah, so maybe that's something that you can work on as well from your organization as well, in trying to find an index that can be applied to companies. That would be very, very interesting, right? So that we know actually how good every company is. But Liubov, it was a pleasure. Thank you so much for the time, and it was a fantastic conversation and also a fantastic presentation. Thank you.
Thank you so much for having me. It's my honor. Thank you, everyone who listened to this great podcast.